Welcome back to Talks from the Essex Hotel. This is a great episode talking about the Year of the Fire Horse. This episode was initially sponsored by a new yoga enterprise, but after it aired, we discovered some things about that sponsor, and nothing nefarious, but it was just not in alignment with our views. So we're going to go forward here, and there may be some bleeps during this episode, but please know we don't want to be sponsored by people we don't have alignment with. Enjoy the episode.
Yeah, need a cab here. Cab. Yeah, where you going, buddy? Yeah. JFK? Yeah, I got you covered. How much? $35. Okay, I'll tell the guy.
Welcome to Talks from the Essex Hotel with your hosts, Sarita Patel and Latham Woodward. The views expressed on this show are those of our guests and are not necessarily in line with our opinions, but can be. Please enjoy this program, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you. Hi, and welcome back to Talks from the Essex Hotel. I'm Latham Woodward, your host, along with co-host Sarita Patel. Sarita, say hi.
Hi, Latham. Hi, everyone.
So, Sarita and I are talking about astrology and Chinese medicine, miracle things, yoga, all sorts of things across the board. Sarita, why don't you enter us in with the title today?
Well, today I think we're going to be like everyone else, and we're going to talk about the Year of the Fire Horse. Today is Tuesday, February 17th, 2026.
What's the fire horse?
So the fire horse is the entrance of, well, we're exiting the Year of the Snake. Okay, so the Year of the Snake was, for like many, I'm sure people were shedding. They were coming to the truths of things. It was a big shed, probably very difficult year for many. And the Year of the Fire Horse is really, there is no looking back. We have all the energy to move forward with the power of our unbelievable talent, humanity, spirit. And there is no reason, no blockage to not be who you are.
So what is the fire horse? Is it not just the year of the horse, or is it actually the horse/fire horse? What does it mean?
Well, I'm not an astrologist, but I do consult with all sorts of these people forever. But the fire is the energy.
Okay.
And I'm going to read something really quickly, but, Joshua Townsend, the writer in LA, who I just think is amazing, and so do you. He's been doing a series, and, he just wrote something on Facebook called New Moon and Year of the Fire Horse. But first, this new moon, the void and intention. In the beginning, there is darkness, not the absence of light, but the presence of everything that has not yet been born. The new moon holds all potential in her invisible hands. She asks nothing of you but to feel the pull, the sense that wants to emerge from the depths. So even if you just look at that, and Joshua was such a great writer, and I didn't do him justice, but when you think about the horse pulls and it pushes. So when you think about this Year of the Horse, you really want to look at the organicness of the motion of a horse. And it's fiery. When that horse starts galloping across the land, thunder, it's like thunder. It's like fire.
So what's the difference between the snake and the horse? I mean, where is this going, and why is it important?
Well, so the difference between the snake and the horse is the snake is all about shedding that which no longer serves us.
So that was for our year 2025, but that's not on the Chinese calendar or the whatever calendar this is based on, correct?
It is.
It is.
Yeah.
So that coincides with some Chinese year too, obviously, right?
Yeah, well, if you look at, there's an animal that comes with every year. So the last time that we had the Year of the Horse was 20, 26 minus 12. So what is that? I don't have my calculator. I used to know it. Yeah, 2014.
2014?
So if you 2014. So if you go back and look at what 2014 might have been like for you,
Yeah.
it could have had the same kind of energy. So like for me, 2014 was the year that I was getting ready to leave a very long-term job, marriage, just situation. I didn't really pay attention to the astrology back then, but it was a huge year of shedding where nothing ever went back to anything similar to that.
And typically, are there hallmarks for these what do you call them, icons?
Well, and this is really fun doing this with Latham because he doesn't know anything about it.
I literally know nothing about
Yeah.
this. I know that they announce this stuff in Chinatown, and I will go down there occasionally for Chinese New Year.
Right.
That's
And
about
that's
it.
why I think we're doing this because I'm not an expert in this, and yet I've been following.
This year is associated with energy, freedom,
Yeah.
forward momentum, strength, grace, and determination, which are all great things. Mm-hmm. Now, I want to see what year of the snake
Okay.
was.
So while he's looking up Year of the Snake, I'm sure people have felt like just a difference in the energy, and you don't, and this know what it is. And this is kind of giving you a very historical perspective on what the archetypes have to offer us.
Okay. This is crazy. Okay, I'm
Okay.
going to say, because this really rang true. Right? I don't know why this is working. The year of the snake typically are emphasized by introspection, personal growth, and renewal. Wow. So that perfectly reflects what happened in 2025.
Well, and remember in that last podcast that we did in the year in review,
Yeah.
and we were talking about just how last year was just so crazy.
People were losing their mind last year.
Yeah. And even for you and me, it just kept, the energy didn't stop, but we just kept going, one foot in front of the other, not arguing with each other, not trying to make things perfect, getting to know each other better, getting to know who we wanted to work with.
Personal growth.
Yeah. I mean, we did it without even being conscious of it.
That is really weird. But the Chinese have been around a long time. They've had a lot of time to think about these things. That is amazing.
Yeah. So even if we look at last year and the headline news, doesn't it feel like every week there was something new? And, you could just spend forever trying to investigate it. Just so many truths were being revealed. And I think the message for the Year of the Horse is, okay, yeah, it's going to keep on a-coming. So do you want to get bogged down in the mires of what was really an illusion? I think people are really figuring out reality is not what they thought it was. Comfort is not as secure as they thought it was. Nothing is permanent.
I like the fact that it highlights in the Year of the Horse that energy and freedom and forward momentum, strength, grace, and determination. These are all very things that are kind of coming into focus now, whether it's the Epstein files and people forcing the release of these things. Lord knows a lot of people don't want these things released, but they're getting released because people's force is there, their determination of getting them there, and the freedom of speech and freedom of speech and freedom of speech and freedom of gathering and freedom of your personal spaces. All of these things, the retrospection in 2025 is coming back to bite the powers that be in the ass, because now people want what they had back. And that is the things that are emphasized by the Year of the Horse. And forward momentum rings very true to me. Like we're making headway toward a better place, I think,
Gallops and strokes.
Sometimes in California it seems very hard to make forward momentum, though, however.
I agree. I think we all agree.
I think the state has lost their mind in a lot of ways. I mean, as a fifth-generation Californian,
Yeah.
I don't recognize this place very much anymore. But I'm starting to feel that people are starting to figure it out and just go, what is going on here? I mean, I just remember during COVID, and I hate even bringing up that stupid word, when people were just like my neighbors, not even friends, they were just lecturing other people about how they'd gone about their life. It's like, you've forgotten everything. Mm-hmm. You know, literally everything about what it's like to be an American.
Or a human being.
Or a human being, yeah, mm-hmm. in particular. This is the year of the fire horse, though. It is definitely emphasized by fire horse, and I see that online, and it's a specific type of year of the horse.
Well, yeah, and so if I go back to Joshua Townsend's descriptor, it also speaks to the fire in your creative part of you. And, you know, I think all of us forget that we are all creative. It's not a small group of people who have had, you know, financial success being creatives. We're all creative.
In some way. All things are great. Not all things are great and important and make money. Creativity could be like you make an amazing pie.
Well, we're all creative,
you know,
right? Because we can make things and we can create things. And so that creative fire in all of us is not dead. It's actually, it can come alive right now. I think everything is changing. Make money is going to change. We don't have those corporations that were our lifelong employers that took care of us. That's gone. And we see that with the young, right? They go into these work situations and they think they're going to be there for 20 years. They can barely even last 2 days.
Yeah.
And that's not because they're lazy.
No, it's because they just the fit isn't low patience at this point. Their patience is blown.
Yeah. And even if you look at some of the corporations or companies that are closing down and just laying everyone off, that has nothing to do with merit or competency. It's they're shutting down the doors. So we're looking at actually the burn down, the firing of everything that we knew is old. And there is this opportunity for new structures to be built. I mean, it's open.
Well, it's time. Time is here. We need to do something.
Yeah.
Because everything kind of went on hold. It wasn't just COVID. It was other things. Mm-hmm. Everything went on hold emotionally. I think part of that, it benefits people who are in politics to keep things right. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. It benefits everyone in the political sphere to keep things uncertain because then they're free to congregate amongst their coven, you know? Mm-hmm. They can make decisions and they can do things behind the scenes while at the same time making it seem like we don't get along and we can't make decisions, so nothing's going to happen.
Well, and that's it. And I think you and I have seen that. Humans can get complacent with other people making the decisions.
Well, yeah, and especially here, we always felt that these people had our best interests at heart. They went to Washington, went to Sacramento to give us representation. But I think representation now is as far from what it is ever. Mm-hmm. It's never been farther away from the actual representation.
Right.
And I know we're straying a little off of the thing, but the thing within the vacuum of indecision, it creates a situation where 2025 exposed that, mm-hmm. and people started getting angry, and now people are like, well, screw that, we're going to move forward. Mm-hmm. Now, it sounds kind of woo-woo to me, but I get it, you know, and it's not because I see it everywhere. Mm-hmm. So the first time I've ever read these two things was today. Okay.
Well, that's why
literally today.
That's why, you know, for the audience, it's like, you know, Latham's an entrepreneur. You know, he is very step by step. He builds the foundation first, and he's got to see what he's doing. And, you know, I come in here, little woo-woo misinformation. But it's been a good bridge because we live in both worlds. And that's the thing. We do have access to the woo-woo because there is woo-woo and mystical knowledge out there that people have been using for centuries. And, the politicians and they base a lot of what they do on astrology. And if that hasn't been talked about enough in the last year, I don't know when it will be.
Maybe they do. I mean, you're right. I'm not a very big spiritual person, but I did have some funny things happen in the last 5 years that I never thought would happen to me. One of which was seeing the ghost. I told you about seeing the ghost when I was, part-time in Los Angeles, staying in West Hollywood, and seeing the ghost. And it wasn't bullshit. It wasn't not real. Mm-hmm. It was so real that I got on the phone to the guy who I was renting the room from, and he was in Geneva, Switzerland. I called him and said, Bill, what the hell? And he goes, what? I go, did you tell me about the ghost? And he goes, oh, you saw her. And I'm like, oh my God, man.
You didn't tell me?
You didn't tell me this is a real thing? And he goes, yep. He goes, did you wonder why I had the sage and the smudge pots and the crystals and all that shit around the house? And Bill's like a Republican guy, right? And I was like, yeah, I was wondering, Bill. And he goes, yeah, there's a ghost in the house. She died in that house, and then her husband committed suicide.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So can you imagine if, say, Bill had told you there was a ghost way back when? You probably would have looked at him like he was nuts.
Probably.
Probably.
But that wasn't the first time I saw the ghost. I saw it later, so I knew it was real, but it was not malevolent at all. Mm-hmm. It was just something there, right? Mm-hmm. So I started expanding my horizons a little bit, kind of on that viewing of this specter, you know? So, and then another amazing thing that's happened in the last 5 years is I met you, and I've met a bunch of other people almost by accident, right? Seemingly by accident, but it wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
And it's crazy because certain things fit like Lego pieces together, right? Mm-hmm. It's almost beyond. Is it fate?
Well, no. There's an order.
Right.
There's an order, and so. When you said you're not very spiritual, I would beg to differ.
Well, I am spiritual, but I'm not. Yeah. I'm not.
You're not the woo-woo
alternative.
You're not a branded spiritual person. You don't walk around saying I'm spiritual.
I'm not a yogini.
Okay.
Inside joke.
Well, I was just going to say about you. You are one of the most spiritual people I know, because you do contemplate, why you're here and what the purpose of it all is. And but not to the point of paralysis.
No, and nor do I let it guide me entirely.
Right.
I understand certain things. I understand things like, I learned a long time ago when I was in university about reciprocity and, do unto others. And you get that through world religion classes, in university. And you learn about these practices that are about, Confucianism, Taoism, reciprocal relationships. All these things are important, and they actually work. They work always. Mm-hmm. They're not like you can walk away from these things and hope they don't work. But if you treat someone badly, it will reflect on you.
Yeah. And
there's an adage like that. I don't know if you ever heard this, but the good die young, and the old. The shitty live forever. Mm-hmm. I kind of am of the opinion that the people who are very shitty to other people live forever just so they can sit there and drown in their misery, it eats them alive, and it's meant to be that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That there is no. It's rare that there's improvement in people who have cast their die by the time they're 40. Mm-hmm. You rarely get any kind of growth, right?
Yeah.
But. It's just strange the amount of people who who've done bad things to people live a long, long, long time.
Yeah, they sure do. And they make life pretty miserable for the people who have to take care of them.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it's just...
But, when you just said it, it's like when you do know that there could be... having an orchestrated life and nothing is an accident, or saying that there is some... type of orchestration that's beyond our regular knowledge. That kind of makes me feel like there is some benevolence looking after us, but that does not create a situation that we become irresponsible and that we still have a responsibility to make choices for ourselves. It's really easy that if you do this, then this will happen. So it kind of guides you along the path when you're making more virtuous choices for yourself.
Yeah. And order is orderly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean by that? It's just like, if things are in order and they're operating as prescribed, or not prescribed is the wrong word, but as nature intended, right? And they're operating on an organic and natural scale, they work. They work within the balance of the confines of whatever environment. It's just like the example of Yellowstone National Park, the reintroduction of wolves and beavers into the environment after being hunted to extinction has had a remarkable impact on the entire ecosystem where it's recovering. Where things that were unexpected, the flowers have started to come back. Certain species have started to come out of nowhere. The disease within the herd of the elk and the bison and the pronghorn sheep and the bighorn sheep has reduced itself because the natural order of things is to eliminate the sick and infirm. So in a Darwinistic approach too, the weak die because it's supposed to happen. It's the order of things. And so that there's that old term synchronicity, right? And it's a real thing.
Absolutely.
Synchronicity is a real thing. It's like these systems work well when they work well together.
Yeah.
So I think the balance here, what we're seeing is, and those crafty Chinese people, again, I'm going to shout them out here and say, how 5,000 plus years of intelligence was really paying off, because all these things are really kind of self-correcting in a way. And I don't know if they knew this or that's just the way of human nature.
Well, I think just like anything, they were, if we go back into history before there was television and radio and newspapers, pretty much people operated with a unconscious way of living and examining the natural surroundings. So whether that's the sky or the weather or the land. And so we created a natural order by being a part of the natural order. And when something was off or maybe not typical, it was written down. And when you're writing down history of day-to-day life, not for any reason to become famous or to get published, but you're literally just recording history, that's what I think you're talking about with the Chinese. They had enough data to keep passing along to warn people about what happens when the natural balance is, messed with. I know I'm talking like a 10-year-old, but that's pretty simple. You don't mess with the natural order.
This is where a 10-year-old's logic is actually superior sometimes to an elder person's logic, because a 10-year-old can see systems that are simplistic and easy, and they work. I mean, it can be as stupid as an example of like summertime. The ice cream man comes at 1:30, I've got an ice cream in my hand. 1:45, I'm sitting on my lawn. 2:00, I'm having fun with my friends. These are orderly things, and they're simple. But that system, that very confined little 10-year-old world of a system, is powerful in that it's real. It's a tangible thing. And an adult would look at it and be like, well, ice cream man might be late today. And you won't get your ice cream, and they might be out of fudgicles, and you're going to have to get a whatever other kind of fruit thing you're going to get, and that'll probably make you upset. And meanwhile, the 10-year-old's going, I just want an ice cream. Because that simple system is so easy to grasp, where an adult is overthinking the whole thing. It doesn't matter. But that system, even if it went haywire and the ice cream man came by, he was late, everything went by, that system's still there. That system is still valid. Where an adult would be overanalyzing, it's like, oh, God, guy should have gotten more gas. He ran out of gas. God damn him. Blah, blah, blah. We should call his supervisor.
Well, and that poor adult, just to give him some credit, was a victim of serious programming. It's like, if you don't do this, then you will not achieve success. So I think the year of the horse also gives us a time to not reevaluate what successful means, I think 2025 really gave everybody, pulled a sheet from under the dining table out. I always use these parables incorrectly, but you know what I mean. It was like, if we didn't see that how we evaluate success needs to be re-examined. I don't know when we ever will. It's really not about how much money can you hoard in your bank account, because money is just being printed. It's being used to, sequester people on islands to be genetically modified and tested. Come on. When we look at all that money.
Well, I have a concrete example about exactly what you're talking about, okay? Because it's something that I've been viewing. My wife is viewing it online right now on YouTube, right? And she's addicted to it. I walked into the room the other day, and I'm like, "You're not watching this woman again, are you?" And she's like, "Yeah, I like it." And it's like, all this woman does is, and I'm not going to use her name, okay, because it's too much for me. I thought this had become extinct. All she does is travel the world, tell people about the fabulous life she has, tell people about where her fabulous house and second house is, and where they're looking for a third house before they go back to their fabulous house in London to go to polo lessons the next day, and then go on safari in a week. And it's just like, I know this woman, she is seemingly so, maybe I don't want to use the word stupid. She's just so ignorant to the fact that what she is showing is not only unobtainable, but it's impossible to attain. Like, unobtainable means, oh, maybe I can get there. Mm-hmm. This is not something people can attain. Mm-hmm. It's like you have everything at your fingertips. You will never be poor. You will never want for anything. Mm-hmm. And now you're lording it over people, this amazing vacation lifestyle you lead. And it's just too much. And it's all these people with the exotic car things on YouTube and all these people. It's like, I thought this was over. Or is it just dying? Because it's just so stupid. There's a guy named Hoovie, Tyler Hoovie, who I will shout out because he's come to Jesus on this one. Mm-hmm. He finally realized his whole thing was Hoovie's Garage, about dilapidated cars that he buys at a good price and he fixes them up and resells them, right? Mm-hmm. So he started acquiring better and better cars, Ferraris and Lamborghinis. And he finally was going broke pursuing this. Mm-hmm. And he finally realized that he was pursuing something it was not sustainable and it was not relatable. Mm-hmm. I mean, for God's sake, when I was watching the show with my wife about the safari trip this chick was going on, Lord knows, it looked great, right? Mm-hmm. But all I said to her was like, I wish she brought a different camera and wouldn't talk, because the shots she got of the elephants and the chimpanzees and everything were super cool. Mm-hmm. But I don't need to hear about the wine she's going to drink that night at the lodge served by these cheerful people you're paying $20,000 a night to. Okay, I don't need to hear that. Mm-hmm. I just want to see these cool animals and the great sunset. Right? That's wealth to me, is being able to see these things in person.
Right. Not
the other stupid experiences of the hot tub in the bush.
Yeah, but people have been trained to watch that, and I guess it's aspirational. And for us, when we were growing up as kids, it might have been the magazines that we were looking at.
Yeah. Is that ASSP or is it ASPI? Aspirational or aspirational?
Oh, yeah. But you know what I mean?
I do. I mean, it was like, what was the magazines? Vogue used to do a lot of those things where it was like ladies' trips and stuff like that. And
well, or even like dumbing it down to when I was a kid and I used to look at 17 magazine.
Oh, yeah.
And there were no Indian kids in 17 magazine. So I literally thought I had to look like that in order to be,
oh, God, is this the
girl.
Bleaching my skin story?
That's when I started bleaching my skin and putting hydrogen peroxide on my hair and washing my face with Comet.
Good God, really?
I mean, I thought that being Indian was a flaw.
No.
Like a flaw.
No.
Yes, I did.
Don't tell Lakshmi Padme that.
But, that's how powerful the media was in my psyche. I grew out of it, obviously. but not before I took my sisters to the side and I said, we were all born wrong and I know how to fix it. I got a magazine. I saved my money to go buy this magazine. And I would literally only have money to buy one 17 magazine. So that when, instead of getting it every month like everyone else did, I would literally do every single tip in that issue and was always by the next one. So I was always a little bit behind.
Oh my God, I hope you have photos of all this. Oh my God, I'm going to see these.
But I'm using the example of I didn't really realize that I was addicted to the media. In that case, it was print media.
Yeah.
And so when we see the social media that's just giving you a rapid fire visual of some kind of lifestyle, that visual is actually imprinting in people's brains. So whether or not they're saying, oh, I don't need a vacation like that, it's imprinted there now. So it could affect the kinds of decisions you make. Or
yeah, it could.
It could. It does. Not us, because we're older and,
That is the one thing about age. I had a business conference today with someone who's a old friend, and he is at the point where he needs to sell his business. And I was telling him about some perspectives about, some historical trends that I know of within business, and how if your business has made it to 30, you either go out of business, 30 years of business, you either go out of business or you go big. Mm-hmm. And he's at year 32. And I said, look, you got to sell your business. Okay. You got to sell your business because you're not going anywhere. Mm-hmm. Okay. You are 62 years old. You can't do this for 10 more years. Mm. It's a hard business. You need to consider getting out. Mm-hmm. And he's hearing it, because, you just can't keep doing it.
No.
Even in the year of the fire horse, it's going to be very hard.
No. Well, and the year of the fire horse for him could be, what does he want to do with his time, with his life? Does he want to keep cranking up this business, or does he want who can actually accelerate it, who's been looking for an opportunity, not to start something from the ground up?
That's what I said too, because we started in business about, a long time ago together. And I said, I said to him, there's a guy out there, mm-hmm. or a girl, mm-hmm. who's got the drive that we had when we took big risks. Mm-hmm. And we had our whole life to look forward to making mistakes and correcting those mistakes and making money. And that's when you have to really look back effectively and thoroughly at your life and go, I'm 60 plus, mm-hmm. and I cannot make a lot of meaningful change at this point. And I don't have 20 years to put into a business any longer. Mm-hmm. I mean, I might, right?
Well, I think that's one of the things when we support people in these transitions and they really don't know what to do.
Right.
I think 60 is one of the best times to pass or start really seriously thinking about a succession plan. Because then you can, sure. Right? Because then you're giving somebody this opportunity to run with it and make it their own. But you're also available as an advisor, if you're not a controlling micromagical advisor, so that person isn't just doing it on their own.
Right. Did you say micromagical?
I did. Micromagical.
I like that.
Well,
it's so much better than micromanagement, because micromagical is you're bringing some secret sauce to their whatever they need.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's like the meeting we had the other night with our friend on Friday night, and mm-hmm. just having the perspectives coming in from different directions with new enlightened light. That's another reason the Year of Horse resonates with me, is that meeting. Mm. It really did. I mean, that whole thing, it was just like the positivity and the growth that you could see in the attitude was there. It was mm-hmm. really there.
Well, she was a unique person, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you could tell that what she's doing is for the good of humans. She's not trying to change the world. She just has an incredible offering based on her decades of experience.
Let me ask you, what was year of 2024? What year was that? Year of the rabbit?
I don't know.
Because that was the year all those weird things happened with us, remember?
Well, you've just met me.
I just met you in mid-2024.
Right. I mean, not just. We knew each other from other things we just didn't know.
Right.
But yeah, 2024 was pretty darn weird.
So what? Let's see. Let's look it up here.
Chinese.
That was Zodiac. That was Year of the Dragon.
Ooh.
Self-confident, bold, energetic, ambitious, and creative. Okay, so I think in that text we were all of those things, but it was the people that we engaged were not that, which is interesting to me. What they were was anything but that, and I think I don't know if there's an archetype that goes along with this. They were much more in the vein of riding someone's creative coattails.
Right. So, you know what, Latham? You know how I've wanted to bring on the palmistry person and the numerologist and the tarot card reader and all my people that I've been seeing since I was 12.
Yeah.
So this is where I think it comes in. I'm still not an expert at describing these things because I don't use them to tell me whether or not I should walk outside or not, or should I sign this contract or not. I use all of these modalities as kind of guidance posts to keep me, to affirm something my intuition is telling me,
Yeah.
or to course correct me. But, at the end of the day, I have to make my own decisions. I just like having these tools. So when I talk with the palmistry person and the tarot person, what they do is they weave in these archetypes in their own language that helps us understand the archetypes that live within each of us. So we all live any zodiac wheel. We all have them. It's when we best exercise those based on our birth placement. So, some years are just naturally better for others than others. And so we're here to take advantage of it at that point, right?
Right.
It's like the doorway is open. And so would you just stand at the threshold when that doorway is open for you to step through and be as confident as you can? Or are you going to slink backwards? If you slink backwards, you're probably going to learn something about yourself that needs to be unearthed.
Hopefully you learn something about yourself. I have to say that,
Hopefully.
Some people lack any kind, we had this conversation about people who lack inner dialogue, like they don't have an inner dialogue. It's almost, it's crazy for me to think, but there are people walking around that you talk to every single day that have no inner monologue.
Right.
They have nothing.
Right. So
there's nothing talking to them inside their head, their own voice telling them that was a bad idea, this is a good idea. It's a true thing, and I don't understand it, but it's hard to. So hopefully they're getting something out of introspection and reflection.
Yeah, and you're right. I think those people who have no inner dialogue are probably not listening to us.
No, they're NPCs. They're guiding traffic in a video game somewhere.
Yeah, and we need those people to guide traffic.
No, it's a good time to talk about our new sponsor this. So back to Year of the Horse and all the cool things that we've discovered here in Woo Woo Town, which is not a town I know very well, but I'm getting to know it better. Well,
it's 10 years after, we started Mudmana as a heart-centered entertainment studio, trying to support the creatives and the entrepreneurs in a world that was changing lightning speed in my mind's eye. And I can't believe we're here 11 years later, still standing. And
the time is right now.
Time is right. Some things just take a while.
Yeah. And as we approach 40 minutes in this broadcast, I want to say if anyone does know anything more in depth about Chinese, the Chinese calendar, please get in touch with us. Come on as a guest. We'd like to hear from experts or so-called experts about this thing, along with tarot and the rest of the people Sarita's going to bring, because I do think it's a good idea to just expand one's horizons.
Well, and they're all interrelated. It's like, when you're having a great dinner, you have a little bit of vegetable, a little bit of meat, a little bit of, sauce, cheese, whatever. And that makes kind of a well-rounded meal. And I think that all of these tools of spirit work really well with the material world too. And I just can't imagine not having my life without all of these. I don't even think about it.
Well, I like the fact that within the Chinese zodiac that they are addressing true things of human nature, because so many things that you hear about, which are just great ideas, like on paper, like Marxism and communism, they're great, but there's a problem. It's human nature. There's a way that always corrupts everything, and human nature is usually behind it. So within the parameters of identifying traits of human nature, this answers that question.
Well, and it's also cyclical.
Yes.
And cycles repeat themselves.
They do. They always do.
Always.
Yes.
That'll never change.
Nope, it won't. So why don't we wrap it up here, Sarita, for today? This week's broadcast brought to you by West. And it's always nice to see you, Sarita.
You too, Latham.
And to Marvin out there letting people in out of the cold. It was a very thunder and lightning day today with lots of hail on my desk or on my deck this morning. And Marvin has his trench coat on. So shout out to you. Keep your gloves on, Marvin. It's going to be a rough one tonight. Until next time, this is Latham Woodward and Sarita Patel at Talks from the Essex Hotel. We'll see you next time. Thanks, Sarita.
Thanks, Latham.
Okay, bye-bye.
Hey, Marvin, I got three to go, JFK. You got room over there. Get a catapult over the curb. Yeah. Three. All right, load them up.
Thank you for listening to Talks from the Essex Hotel. We strive to bring you interesting and different guests every week. Please like and subscribe to hear more content from Talks from the Essex Hotel. Until next time, see you then. This has been a recording of Talks from the Essex Hotel from Madmana Studios in sunny San Anselmo, California. You can reach us at Latham at madmanastudios.com. That's LATHAM at MADMANA studios.com. All rights reserved 2026.